Childhood Sweetheart. Chapter 4. Realisation. A few days have passed since you're moving to Ponyville, and you are finally starting to warm up to the place. Your new home had grown nicely on you, and you even managed to become friends with some of the school children, including Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle. For once in your life, you are enjoying the pleasures of socialising with others who are relative to the hometown. Your mother has also settled in quite nicely, probably even more so than yourself, and too managed to make a friend after she met none other than the town's very own pink party addict and planner, Pinkie Pie, who threw a small party to welcome you and her to the town and to get to know the others. You may have thought to yourself that Pinkie's ponyisms were a little strange, but she was still a pretty fun pony to be around. After all, parties what got you to where you are now with your new friends. Along with Scootaloo, your closest friend so far, you hung out more after school and went on some adventures together that you found very enjoyable. The best thing about hanging out with three fillies was the part where Scootaloo took you all for a ride on their scooter around Ponyville, with you crammed into a small cart that was tied to her scooter with Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom pressing tightly against you in the small space it provided, despite how claustrophobic the cart was to sit in with the two fillies. You had a blast, as you were all darted around corners, hauled off of jumps, crazy daring Pegasus, and having a bit of a joyride that put everyone in high spirits, as she pulled a lot of you along as fast as she could. The rest of the day was spent with you all together at Sugar Cube Corner, all sat at one of the tables together, Scootaloo seated next to you, Apple Bloom beside Sweetie Belle. With thanks to Pinkie, you were all sipping on and enjoying milkshakes, one of the main signature delectables that the shop was known for. Currently, you were all in conversation with Apple Bloom, being the one telling you all about the story with a smile on her lips. When she finished, you all burst out into laughter, you nearly spitting out your milkshake in the process, but luckily managing to swallow it before letting out your own laugh. It was the story of the time Twant's assistant, Spike, asked them to watch over all their friends' pets, and the disaster it ended up in. With all of them getting covered head to hoof in pet makeup and shampoo and getting all their manes and mangled and scratched at a mess. And who could forget that industrial pet-sized dryer that Winona had a fun time with as it practically glued her to the floor with the heavy gust of air it produced. Good times. When all the laughter died down, the attention seemed to be turned to you. Confused at first as to why they were all looking at you expectantly, you waited for one of them to speak up. "What?" you asked awkwardly, feeling slightly uncomfortable. "Why are you all staring at me like that?" Apple Bloom smiled. "Oh, come on, Blaze, it's your turn. A corpse such as yourself has some interesting stories to tell, I bet." You blushed lightly, and Hare and Sweetie giggled while Scootaloo held back a chuckle. "Yeah, coming from Manhattan, you must have some pretty good stories to tell. Perhaps about a filly or two?" Sweetie said with a teasing smile and a wink. You blushed furiously, your cheeks turning candy apple red. "Oh, come on, guys, quit teasing him," Scootaloo said from beside you in her soft but scratchy voice, and you could detect a sort of jealous tone in her voice too. "If he didn't want to tell a story, he doesn't have to." No, it's alright, Scoots." You gently waved a hoof. "I do have some stories to tell, but it's just that, I'm not really all that comfortable telling them at the moment." "Maybe later," you said simply, much to their disappointment, but further curiosity. "How come?" Sweetie asked, tilting her head to the side a little. You began to feel even more uncomfortable. However, before you could respond, a voice from the side interjected. "Hey, that's enough," Scootaloo said, softly stopping her small orange hoof on the table, causing the whole lot of you to jump at the outburst, and you nearly fell from your seat as both Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle flinched, eyes wide. It was only lucky that none of the milkshakes dropped to the floor and caused a mess. Suddenly realising her action, Scootaloo let out a soft gasp before she left her seat and walked out of the shop, leaving the rest of you in shock, and you shared a surprised glance. "What do you think that was about?" Apple Bloom asked, getting a shrug from Sweetie. She took a momentary glance at you, and from that look you saw in her amber eyes, it was almost as if she was trying to comprehend something in her mind as they pierced your ice-coloured eyes. Feeling awkward and worried for your friend, you said one last thing before getting from your seat and heading outside. "I'm going to go see if she's alright." When you opened the door to leave the shop and stepped outside, you looked around to see where Scootaloo might have gone, and you didn't even look too far, because she was sat with her back against the wall of a nearby house, located from the left side of the shop from your angle with her head in her hooves and her eyes kept downcast. Concerned and worried about what was wrong with her, you slowly approached her and gently took a seat next to her. For a while, neither of you said a thing. As the silence got awkward, you softly tapped her shoulder with a hoof. Scootaloo?" you asked her softly. To her silent response, you frowned eternally. Seeing her like this made you upset. For some strange reason, you couldn't wrap your mind around this. Whenever you saw her upset or hurt, it made you hurt inside too. You couldn't explain it, but you brushed the deeper parts of the thought away passing it off as only worry for a friend. Are you okay? Slowly she picked her head up and rested her hooves on her knees, letting out a sigh. I'm sorry about that, Blaze. I don't know why I did that. Something inside of me just kind of clicked, I guess. She didn't look towards you or meet your eyes as she spoke. Your ear twitched. Clicked? What did she mean by that? You thought. Probably nothing. But I better keep an eye on her anyway. Scoots? This time, she turned and looked, but before she spoke, she looked thoughtful and the smallest of blushes burned her cheeks. You just called me Scoots. Immediately, your eyes widened, worried that you have just offended her in some way. Oh, sorry, it's just that's what Sweetie and Applebloom call you, but, I think it's cute and I like you too. You said, but quickly began to stutter upon realising the last few words you said, and seeing her release a soft gasp caused you to panic, thinking she was about to speak to object or possibly say something that may kill your friendship. You didn't know what to say. For once, you were utterly speechless and more embarrassed than you have ever been in before. The blush upon your cheeks was probably the brightest blush opponents ever managed to achieve, and it mirrored Scootaloo's own, as you too were speechless by what you had just heard from your mouth. Trying to find a way to speak but failing miserably to corrupt what you said, you began to stutter and mumble like a fool before you darted away off from her. She called your name, telling you to wait, but instead, you kept running as fast as you could, the start of a tear stinging your eye. You ran home to your room, not bothering to say hello to your mother who was sat on the couch on the way in and bolted upstairs to your room, slamming the door shut behind you and letting your hyperventilating lungs calm down. Sliding back first down the door, you rested your head against it and clamped your hooves against your temples, your mind rolling in anxiety. You have just made an utter fool of yourself in front of your closest friend, who also happens to be the first pony ever to open herself up to you, and you felt angry and upset at yourself for calling her cute, like that out of the blue. For all you know, she probably thinks that you are a weirdo and that she never wants to talk to you or look at you again for that matter. Tears fell free from your ice blue eyes and trailed down your cheeks, matting your fur. You banged the back of your head against the door in frustration, letting out a small scream, feeling mad at yourself. You're such an idiot, Blaze. Why did you have to go ahead and call her cute? You've only known her for like 3 days and there's no way she'll ever like you back. You blinked, some tears attaching to your eyelids before dripping off. She won't like me back. It was true you liked Scootaloo. You knew you did. As a friend, anyway. Since your first meeting, you finally felt so glad to have some pony you could actually trust and relate and talk to without feeling like a moron, even though now you would appear as a moron to her because that's what slipped out your mouth. In your eyes, you thought that she was kind of a cool pony. Despite not knowing her for even a week, you already found something in her that you thought you would never find in any pony, especially a filly. A soulmate. She was the first filly that you have ever called a friend and found many things in that you could relate to. You and her were practically brother and sister at this point. You were glad to call her a friend. You could only hope that she still liked you, yet some part inside you was screaming in fear and anxiety or thinking of the opposite. With a hoof, you wiped your eyes and sniffled. You let your body deflate and sank further down on your rump. Back at Sugar Cube Corner, the 3 Crusaders sat at the table they were previously sat at, and Scootaloo had her head on the tabletop, a sudden look upon her face and lingering in her glistening eyes. Oh, cheer up, Scoots. I'm sure I ain't got nothing against you, Applebloom said reassuringly to her friend, trying to lighten her mood. It didn't help in the slightest bit. She only sank deeper in her seat, planting her face flat against the table, hiding her teary eyes. With that, she could hear one of her friends, presumably Applebloom, getting from their seat and walking to her side of the table with a soft clacking noise against the floorboards. She heard her sit next to her silently and lay her hoof on her back, gently rubbing it comfortably. Looking across from her at Sweetie, she motioned with her hoof at her to say something. After all, it was her who did the teasing. Taking the hint and feeling guilty for the state her friend was in, she spoke up. Hey, I'm sorry, Scoots. I swear I am. I was only joking, Sweetie said, finishing lamely. Slowly, Scootaloo raised her head and looked at her friend with a piercing glare in her purple eyes that Sweetie had never seen before. It sent a shiver down her spine and made her feel cold. For a moment, Scootaloo looked like she wanted to say something to her friend, to possibly hurt her in the same way for what she'd said, but decided against it, knowing how sensitive she was when it came to insults. Besides, she didn't really want to hurt her verbally. She was too close to her to try and drive her away with a barrage of insults. Saying nothing, Scootaloo sulkily picked herself from her seat and stomped out of the shop, not once looking back to her friends. Now alone with her thoughts, she found some place quiet and away from the shop and her friends to think. She entered the Ponyville Park and found a nearby pond, sitting beside it and staring down at the reflection in the smooth, cool blue water. Just staring at it, she screamed out in frustration, thankfully no pony else there to see her like this. Sweetie Belle was right though. She had only been joking with her as an unintentionally playful, embarrassing comment. A part of Scootaloo was jealous at hearing her mention about Phyllis back in Manhattan that Blaze may have been with. She hated the thought, and that was the thing. She didn't even know why she felt this way. Since meeting Blaze for the first time and seeing him helplessly get ploughed into a wall, her heir to witness, and she barely even knew the guy. The only other court that Scootaloo knew and frequently hung out with was Rumble, and she knew that Rumble liked her. At first, she passed it off as nothing more, as apparent signs and stronger hints and how he actually feel about her. However, the catch with her and Rumble didn't add to anything. They had nothing in common apart from them both being Pegasi. It was the same in Blaze's case, but there was something about him that stood out from Rumble. Something different. He liked to scoot. He owned a scooter of his own. He liked racing. He was cool. He was awesome. And he liked me. Scootaloo's eyes widened. Oh, Scootaloo, you dodo. You are such an idiot. He called you cute. He called you cute and he likes you. And you like him too. Now she felt stupid and confused. Why would Blaze, of all ponies, like her? She took a while to ponder this, but then the realisation came crashing down on her. Looking back to their first meeting, the day she was told she was failing school and offered to help her unexpectedly, hanging out more frequently with each other and her friends, going on a small crusade around town, looking out for each other and how they act when they're in each other's company. She felt warm inside when she was with him, to say the least. She knew that he blushed a lot when he was around her, and that she did the same thing, but other than that, they both had a lot in common. In fact, they were more like close relatives than only friends. They were two peas in a pod. A warm and happy smile crossed her lips. She had a great friend. No, a wonderful friend, who cared greatly about her and would always try to cheer her up when she was sad. Is the reason that he ran off because of her? Was it nervousness or something along those lines? Or did he just worry that he may think he was stupid or pathetic? Maybe he doesn't actually like her and he was just jumping to conclusions? Oh, she cringed internally at the last thought. Don't think like that, Scootaloo. Of course he still likes you. All that it was just a huge misunderstanding. Yeah, that's right. A misunderstanding. It has to be. She got up from her rump and looked up to the afternoon sky, watching the clouds and the birds that flew through the terrific blue and white. Well, I guess I'll find out at school tomorrow, she whispered to herself before turning around and heading home.